Hello everybody and thank you for joining me. This is Sierra from Serrated Designs and today I'm hanging out on the ScrapbookPal YouTube channel. So let's jump in. So we are going to create the platform first and hopefully I'll explain this well enough. So you're going to need 2 of the full platform and then 3 of the T pieces that come in the Fawn platform pop-up dies. And I'm just going to reinforce all the folds. I find that a lot easier. And then with the T's, with the third one, I'm going to actually cut off the part that has the score line on it. So right on the score line, I'm just going to trim that little piece off and I'll show you why here in a minute. And then we're going to create our pop-up piece. So I'm going to add some double-sided tape to the bottom of these 2 platform pieces, and I really hope I explain this well. And then we're going to put some Scor-Tape at the bottom of the 2 T's that still have the tab on them. So then we're going to actually start to create the base of this platform. So I'm glad you guys can watch me do this at the same time because I hopefully will explain it well. But you're going to put the T through the little slot that's in the bottom of that platform, and then you're going to pull it tight and adhere it down. And then to create the top of the platform, you're going to pull off the piece of Scor-Tape and then fold it all the way up to the top and adhere that. And that creates the top part of that platform. So we're going to do it again and hopefully this all makes sense. You're going to stick the T through that little slot in the bottom of the platform. Make sure that it is all the way up so you can see here it's snug against that piece. We're going to pull that release paper off and make sure it's tight and then fold it down. And then we're going to do the same with this next piece. We're going to remove the release paper, fold it all the way up to the top and adhere it. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. It's a little bit quick, but it is really simple to put together once you kind of wrap your mind around it. Now for that third T, we're going to put a little bit of Scor-Tape just on one side. It doesn't matter where, just in the center. And then we're going to line it up on one of the platforms, doesn't matter which, with the T that you have already there. The only thing is you will line up the bottom of the T with the bottom of the platform. And then next we're going to attach the 2 platforms together. So we're just going to put some adhesive on one of them. It doesn't matter which, on that part right there, and on the tabs that make the kind of octagonal shape on both of them. So I'm sorry if I'm going through this a little bit quickly. It's pretty simple once you I did honestly have to kind of finagle this a few times to make sure I kind of got what I was doing. But once you kind of see it once or twice in action, it is pretty simple to put together. So you see there, I just lined up one of the tabs, adhered it, and then I found it easiest to leave it flat for this part and then just line up the bottom 2 corners and adhere them as well. And then we're going to just adhere that last tab. And for the tabs, I find the easiest way to do this to kind of line up I use the grid on my glass mat for that, but I do find that it is actually pretty simple to line up. And then you have this really great little octagonal platform that just looks really neat. And then we're also going to use the Fawn platform pop-up picket fence wraparound. And I've already cut that. I cut 2 pieces because you do need 2 to make the octagon. And then I also cut down some Woodgrain cardstock that I'm going to use just for the top pieces of my picket fence because I didn't want them to be this kind of spring color you see here. This is just a piece of card out of my stash. And I cut the full part with that like springy themed piece. And then I cut just the top part out of the Woodgrain cardstock. And we're going to adhere them together. And again, I'm going to reinforce my score lines. I just find that the easiest way to adhere things that you need to have bend. I find it easier if you score them or reinforce that line first and then adhere them down. And then you don't have any problems with them lifting when you try to kind of reinforce that again when you have to go and make the actual octagon or hexagon, sorry. So we're just going to kind of line that up on both pieces, and I just glued it right directly down with some liquid glue just so that would give me a chance to move it around. I pretty much use Scor-Tape for everything else to attach on this other than the fence pieces and when I actually go and adhere the characters to the little card as well. But for the most part, I think that Scor-Tape would kind of be the best way to do it. You could use liquid glue, but you'd have to kind of hold it there and wait for it to adhere. So I found the Scor-Tape was just a little bit easier to work with in this case. So here, excuse me, we're just going to add the Scor-Tape to each of the little tab pieces, and then we're going to line it up. We're going to take one off, line it up, And I like to fold the tab backwards and then line them up top and bottom and then push it forward and adhere it. So hopefully my instructions are making sense to you guys. Luckily, you can actually see me doing it as well. So hopefully that shows you just how easy this is to put together and how really cute it is. You're going to see here in a minute when we actually add this picket fence wraparound to the platform die. It's just so darn cute that I mean, Lawn Fawn stuff is always incredibly adorable, but this one is really, really cute. And I generally don't make interactive cards. So this is the first interactive card I've made in a very, very long time. So you can see that I am going to struggle just a touch to get this over top. And I don't adhere it in any way. From what I saw, you could just slide it on and it would stay there. So I'm testing out that theory. So I'm not actually going to adhere it. But if you wanted to, you absolutely could. I didn't, because I think you would struggle to get it to actually slide on. But once it's on, maybe you could try to slide it up a little and add some glue if you needed to. And then for the pieces of the fence that are kind of sticking off, I'm going to adhere them now. So I just added a little bit of liquid glue and I'm going to hold it, and then I use my reverse tweezers just to kind of make sure that it stayed flat while I was adhering it. Just because I thought that piece, I mean, you could probably trim that little piece off. It's such a little piece of the fence that I don't think you'd notice. But if you want to adhere it like I do, I just use my tweezers to hold it in place until it actually adhered. And then I was kind of happy with that. And then look how stinking cute this is. So you push and it folds down. I did notice that it likes to fold up, which I don't think really matters, but I think to put it in an envelope, you are to like kind of slip the pieces down inside. So I thought that was really cute. So then I wanted to add some grass to our scene. So I brought in just some pattern paper I had in my stash, but to add a little more interest to it, I brought in some mowed lawn and a little blending brush. And I'm just going to add just a touch of extra green just for some added interest across the grass pieces, because I thought it was really cute and I wanted just a touch more interest, because when we get into the Copic coloring, I do tend to shade things, and flat color I thought would look a little odd if the grass was flat color, but I mean, you absolutely could. And another thing with this is that I could have cut my like base out of green cardstock and then it wouldn't be white on the bottom and then have just little green grass pieces. But I chose to keep it white because that just seemed simple for the first time I'd ever built this. I did build this the first time with you guys just because I wanted to show you how simple it was for even someone who normally doesn't create a really interactive cards. So if this is something you're interested in, but you're a little nervous because you've never done an interactive card, I promise that it is actually pretty simple and quick to put together. It just takes a minute to wrap your mind around it, but it is really, really cute. So then I'm just going to add some adhesive to the bottom pieces of my grass, and I'm going to adhere them to the little tops of the T's. So this is where those little T's come in. That's why we needed 3 of them. So you could leave, I think, the second one out if you didn't want the one in the middle, but it makes sense to me to have the 3. So you didn't probably want to add that, but completely up to you. You could have 2 if you really wanted to, and then have different stuff maybe on different levels, but I thought this was pretty cute. So I adhered my 3 pieces of grass, just the top of those T's, and look how stinking cute this is. I'm sorry, I'll stop saying that. It's just really cute. And then this little pink strip that I cut, that came in the same picket fence wraparound die set, and it's just this little stitched piece, and I thought it would just be super cute to cut it out in this pink cardstock and wrap it around the bottom of the platform. So that's what I'm going to do. You could put it in the center, you could put it right under your fence, wherever you want to put it. I just thought it would look really cute at the bottom. So that's kind of what I did. And I didn't wrap it around. It has a little tab. You can. I just trimmed it off and left it alone because it's near the bottom and it's going to be closed a fair amount when it's in the envelope. So I chose to just not have it wrap around and just leave it alone. But I thought it turned out really cute. And then we're going to jump into the coloring. So for my stamps, I actually stamped out several little images from the Lawn Fawn Veggie Happy stamps. I thought they were really cute. So I have all of the mice that were an option, the little wheelbarrow, and then 3 little veg. So I have a lettuce, a carrot, and I'm pretty sure the third one's supposed to be a radish, though I'm going to color it like a purple carrot just because I wanted a touch more purple in my card design. But I mean, I'm pretty sure it's actually supposed to be a radish. But I went in with grays for this. I didn't want to introduce any brown, which would have been the other neutral I probably would have pulled in. But I chose to color my mice in shades of gray. So I used C1, C3, and C5 on the 2 little hat-wearing mice. And then on the other two that are standing, I'm going to use W1, W3, and W5. So C1s are cool grays, Ws are warm grays, and that just gives me a bit of difference in my mice. That's just a little more interest. If you weren't that, into Copic coloring, these images are so small, you could just color them with one set. Like if you don't own all the grays, you could absolutely do all the cool grays or all the warm grays, and they would still look super adorable. Because I own them, I really wanted to bust them out and use them. So I brought in the warm and cool grays just to kind of do that. And I always like to start with a full wash of my lightest color. So I do like whatever the lightest color is, I kind of cover the whole area, and then I bring in my midtone and then my darkest. That's kind of how I like to work through my colors. And then for the ears and the little belly on the one mouse, I did bring in RV00. Just because I think it's a really pretty light color. I added it to the ears and the little cheeks. And then for my greens, I'm going to use YG03 and YG05, just the 2 color blend, just because the green areas are quite small. So I didn't really think I needed 3 colors for that, but you can add as much dimension as you'd like. The one carrot that I'm going to color in as an orange color is going to be YR14 and YR04. Just again, 2 colors for the added dimension. And then for the hat, I'm going to go in with just a regular yellow. So I went in with YO2 and YO8, and I kind of just did both hats the same 2 colors. I pondered not doing that one little hat, but then I changed my mind and decided to do it yellow as well. I think my biggest struggle is picking colors because I don't know if I want to commit to a color. So I have a tendency to, I'll bring out a couple of markers I know I want to use, and then I'll go and pick a couple more. And then I kind of go from there and build it that way. So that's kind of how I like to pick my colors. For my purples, I chose to use V12, V15, and V17. And you can see here that I did it with this one where I started with a full wash of the V12. I went in with V15 on the 2 sides, just kind of bringing that color in so that I'd have a highlight in the center. And then I used the V17 just to add a little more depth at the back end of the 2 colors, like the darkest spots that I would like to have. And then I go back through. So I go lightest, mid-tone, darkest, and then mid-tone, lightest, and use the lightest to just kind of make sure that everything blends nicely. And then for the pinks, I brought in RV00, RV02, and RV04. And I didn't have much pink in this because there's already quite a bit of pink in the card itself, like that little pink strip around the bottom and the pink flowers kind of floating across the platform. So I didn't want to add too much pink to the actual design. And the couple of extra stamps you see that I didn't color, it's because they didn't stamp as nicely as I wanted them to. So I kind of just didn't color them and just left them on the card there, or on the piece of paper. And then for my blues, I went in with BG01 and BG05. And then I just add a little bit of shading, like where the rake is in front of him and that kind of thing. So I think these images turned out really cute. I'm not used to coloring such small images, so it was a little bit of a struggle to kind of limit myself in how much shading I was going to add. With images this small, you don't really need shading because they're already so cute that probably a 1 or 2 marker blend would look stunning. I'm just so used to a 3 or 4 marker blend that it's hard to limit myself. But I think that this would look stunning regardless of how many markers you felt comfortable bringing in for your blending and shading. So feel free to, this would be a great set to try, like practice your Copic coloring on, because they're so small, they're going to look adorable regardless. So I think this would be kind of a fun way to just practice if that's something that you're working on. It'd be a lot of fun to play with your markers and see what you came up with for color blends and whatnot. But I did bring in just a little bit more of a highlight. I find that adding just a touch of white on top gives them a little bit more light, and it just kind of looks really cute. So I do tend to do that. And then I needed to stamp my sentiments. So in that same Picket fence wraparound die set, there's this little label, and I thought it was so cute. And then the stamp set has these great little sentiments. So I did choose to make this a birthday card because I thought it would be adorable and super fitting. And then I did pop that up with just a little bit of the foam squares so that it would have a little bit of dimension off of the card, because at this moment when it folds down flat there's really no dimension in the card, so I'm not concerned about it not fitting in the envelope well. So I did just add a little bit of foam tape to that card, or to the little label, sorry. and then I'm going to adhere it on the front of my card. And you did see me just adhere that little mouse to the wheelbarrow because I want them to go together in a row, so I kind of just adhered them. And now I wish I had done a few more pieces of vegetables just because it would have been, I could have filled out the design a little more. Not that it looks like it's empty because you have that grass, but I could have added a few more little vegetables to this patch and it would have been really cute. And I'm sorry I get a little bit out of frame here. I'm trying to adhere these into the layers, and I kind of needed a little bit close to me to see what I'm doing. And I might put my head in your way, and I really apologize for that as well, because I was struggling to line things up where I wanted them and see them and have you guys be able to see them. So it was just a bit of an interesting creation, but it came together adorable, and I just am so excited with the chance to work with this set. As I said, it's not my normal set. Yeah, here's my head. So sorry about that. It's not my normal creation, so it was just a lot of fun to really wrap my mind around creating in a way that I don't normally create. So I love that ScrapbookPal let me work with this set and have, a chance to try something out that was completely different and way out of my comfort zone. So that was a lot of fun. So we're coming close to the end of the video here. I'm sorry my head's still in your way a little bit as I adhered this last carrot down, but I think that this turned out incredibly adorable. So if you love Lawn Fawn, pick up this set. It's so cute. And if you've been considering trying it, give it a go. I think that you'll find it's a lot more simple than it looks. And hopefully this video will help you with that. So that is the video I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll leave us a like, leave us a comment, and consider subscribing. There is a lot of phenomenal creators on this team, and I think that you'd really enjoy their content. So make sure you come back and check it out. That's all I have for you guys today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye for now.